Are y'all ready to head off the trails? I'm the Cryptid Huntress, Jessica Jones, and I'm ready to take you on a mysterious journey right now. We welcome you to Off the Trails right here on the Spaced Out Radio's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. We would love to have you guys. And shout out to Bumblefoot for that awesome intro music. It's always a pleasure. All right, you guys, please follow us on social media, on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok. And what's the other one, y'all? I forgot. Instagram, TikTok, and whichever the other one is. I don't have my script tonight. At Spaced Out Radio. Okay, you guys can follow me at thecryptidhuntress.com, and I have a lovely YouTube channel myself that is called The Cryptid Huntress on YouTube. If you guys have not subscribed to that yet, please do. I have live shows over there every Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, and also we have a Space Travelers Club here at Spaced Out Radio. That's over on Patreon. If you guys would like to support what we do here at Spaced Out Radio, we also have a fan party coming up. That's in Reno, Nevada, May 10th through the 12th. So I hope you guys will meet us over there. We're going to be broadcasting live and having a big old VIP party over there and having a lot of fun. So y'all come see me over there. Okay. Also, I have a Patreon. That's the Cryptid Huntress on Patreon if you guys would like to support what I'm doing. Okay. Awesome. Well, we have a fantastic show tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been out in the field this weekend with my team. It sounds like my voice just decided to kind of go kerplunk right before the show started today. Yeah, I've been out in the field, and I have a couple of field research boots on the ground guys here in the studio with me tonight too. I have Jesus and Javier of CRYPTID559 in the studio tonight. Man, do we have some really cool dogman evidence and some stuff to talk about. So don't forget that right after this show, After Hours has a fantastic program set up for us. So y'all head over there right after we're done with our show tonight. Okay. Well, let's get to our guest. CRYPTID559 is a group who is intrigued by cryptozoology. They share experiences of cryptids and UFO encounters, exploring and investigating the Central San Joaquin Valley, searching for cryptid and UFO evidence. They're also near Yosemite National Park, Sequoia National Park, and Kings Canyon National Park. If you ever had an encounter with a cryptid creature or UFO and you live in their area, please contact them and tell them your story. They would love to hear it. They never give out your name without your consent. They cover the areas of Fresno, Tulare, Madera, and Kings Counties out there in California. You can find them on their YouTube channel. That's CRYPTID559. Please help me welcome to the show tonight, Javier Morales and Jesus Lopez of CRYPTID559. Hey, Javier. Hey,
hello.
Hey, guys. Man, thank you so much for being here. And Jesus, it's very nice to meet you for the very first time ever.
Likewise, the pleasure is mine.
Thank you. And Javier, I've known you, man. We go way back, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
First of all, I wanted to say hi real quick as I see him in the chat. I want to say hi to all the Blue Rockers and Connie Willis out there.
Yeah.
And everybody else in the chat. Hello.
Yeah, man, we have a big old chat tonight. We've got a lot of people here. So yeah, shout out to everybody in that chat tonight and to all my moderators and everybody here showing your support to Jesus and Javier and myself here at Spaced Out Radio. Y'all rock. And I know that a lot of the audience that's here tonight, I've been putting it out there that we're going to be talking about one of my favorite cryptids, and that's Dogman. Now we're not going to limit it to just Dogman tonight. We can talk about all the cryptids that you guys have encountered out there in the field. But I stumbled across a Facebook post this week, okay, where you guys had posted some serious, a really cool picture of some Dogman evidence, and I was like, man, Javier, y'all got to come on the show, okay, to talk about it. So tell the audience a little bit about CRYPTID559 and what you guys do out there in California.
Javier. So we CRYPTID559 started as a group of friends going out to to an area where Bigfoot, a family of Bigfoot were spotted, and we just started going out there and exploring and trying to get a glimpse of this cryptid Bigfoot. And after that, we started experiencing we're having our own experiences out there. And the area that we go to that we call a hotspot is Avocado Lake. And sure enough, it's just, we haven't seen Bigfoot. I haven't, and Jesus hasn't, but I ended up having a dogman encounter out there. And after that, I mean, we've just had so much different phenomena that's been happening out in that area and other areas here in the valley also.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I've talked to you before, Javier, about your potential pterosaur sighting, your gigantic muscular dogman sighting, and other strange cryptids out there. Now, California seems to be quite a hotbed of activity. I mean, that's where our first video ever of a Sasquatch came out of Patty with a Patterson Gimlin film.
Yes.
Out there in the Sierra Mountains. So cryptids, are near and dear to that area out there.
Yeah. The Patty film was actually north from us. It's about 6 hours north from where we're at. We're right in the central area of California. The Patty film is Northern California.
Oh, cool. Okay, awesome. Well, Jesus, since this is the first time I've met you, tell me a little bit about how you got into the cryptid phenomenon.
Well, the way I got into it was like Javier mentioned. We heard of a report of a family of Bigfoots around the Avocado Lake area. I think at that time Javier was a little shy about like mentioning it, but once he did, I'm like, dude, I love those cryptid the cryptid adventures or learning about them. So when I heard that there was, when we both heard that there was a report here in the Central Valley, I'm like, let's go. I'm in. Sign me up. When you're going. So that's really what ignited that passion for researching, was finding out that there was a group of Bigfoots in our backyard. So since then, we've been out to this general area, and then we've expanded from that general area, and we've encountered a lot of other stuff that we were never expecting, like the dogman, for example. We were not expecting to have a dogman in our backyard as well.
Oh man, I don't think anybody ever expects to have a dogman in their backyard. However, I mean, we get reports of dogman here in Georgia. I'm on the other side of the country from you guys, but we get a good bit of reports of dogmen here in the South. I was just out in the field myself this weekend with my team, out in the woods, and we were not in an area that gets a lot of dogman sightings, but mostly Bigfoot reports. But a lot of times they go hand in hand, and sometimes they're misidentified, I think. Sometimes they'll see a Bigfoot and think it's a dogman, or a dogman and think it's a Bigfoot, or a bear. Okay, it could be a bear too. Right. So who knows? But we do get a lot of reports of dogmen down here. So I was wondering if you guys ever got a Fresno nightcrawler report.
Well, I'm actually wearing a Fresno nightcrawler.
Sure. Of course. I love it. Well, that's something that your area is known for, and so that would be something really cool to come across, I think. What do y'all think the Fresno nightcrawlers really are?
My opinion, I think it's a what do you call them? Like an earth being, nature spirit. There you go, nature spirit.
Or elemental.
Something along those lines. I would say that's what I'm thinking too, that it is, because if it's like an alien, that's an odd looking alien.
It looks like bell bottom. It looks like pants. It's a pair of pants walking with a head, kind of. Yeah, that's cool.
So what I heard about these night crawlers, this area used to be like a marsh area back in the days, and that's why they have the long legs, so they can walk around along the inside the marsh areas. And they have a little body on top, a little torso, but that's why they have the long legs to walk through the water.
They just need some muck boots like I have. Right? Some rain boots. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, okay, let's get into Dogman tonight because Javier, I know you've absolutely had an up close and personal experience with one. You guys, I feel like we're kind of breaking this on air here, and I almost feel kind of bad because I know y'all need to put this out on your channel. But you've got this picture that somebody sent in to you guys of a potential
Yes,
Dogman, and it really caught my attention. Would y'all like to talk about that right now?
sure. Yep.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull it up. Let's show the
yeah.
audience tonight. Okay, and then let's get into it. Let's see. Here
Let's
we
see.
go.
Yeah, so there it is. Yeah. So back in October of 2023, this person sent me this photo, and as soon as I saw the photo, I see what looks like a dog-headed creature, and
Mhm.
it's very similar to what I encountered out by Avocado Lake. And the difference of mine was it's a lot bigger. It was a lot bigger than this one. Okay, so this individual sent me this picture. Um, they asked, what they were seeing. They wanted our opinion, CRYPTID559's opinion of what they had captured on camera on this photo. And just by looking at it, like I said, I see a dog-headed creature. I see the head on top. I see the ears. You see the snout. You see that bump behind the head, and then you see what looks like buff, like almost muscular front arms. And I can't see the if it has a tail or not, but it almost looks like it has like human legs towards the bottom. Kind of like the thighs. You kind of see that, but it obviously the picture's not clear. But let me tell you how the story went down. How the encounter went down, and then I'll explain that why the picture that I feel is not clear enough. So this particular person, she took the picture at her work site, and she was going on break. So she was driving along this avenue, and then she was following this fence line of the property. So the fence from the avenue is about 10 feet away from her from the avenue. So she's driving along, and then she comes up upon this area, and she notices what she thought first was a shadow. She thought it was a shadow on the fence, like she's seeing it right here, like we're seeing it here. She noticed it. She stopped. She turned off the vehicle, so it's on her side, okay, because she's driving, along the avenue, like I said. So she's turning to her left side, and she's seeing this, and then she turns off the vehicle. So she's looking at it. It doesn't move. She doesn't hear any sound at all. It's just the way it is here. So she takes out her camera and she starts taking a series of pictures. Now, she said that this is the best one, like out of 10 pictures that she took, this is the best one that she was able to get. The camera was acting funny. The camera would not focus. It has a little box, and the little box was all over the place. It would not focus on that creature there. Um, and she was telling me all this, and I go, okay, because we experienced that out in the field with our equipment, stuff. It acts weird when we have activity. Our electronics start acting weird. And when she said that, I said, yeah, I mean, we've experienced that, okay. And she goes, this is the best one. She goes, I want to know what you guys think. I told her, well, I see a dog man. It's a possible dog man or a skinwalker, in my opinion.
Mhm.
And she goes, and she asked me, what's a dog man? It was like a werewolf? And I go, yeah. And she just stayed quiet. And then she goes on, you know what? I was watching this thing. I was getting scared after a couple of minutes just watching it, and it would not move. So she says, so this thing is climbing. It had climbed a chain link fence. Okay, it's on a chain link fence. It's at the very top. At the very top, there's a razor wire fence. Okay, and it's at the very top, and it's in the area of the property where they have solar panels. And the reason why they have razor wire is because in this area, there's a lot of thieves going into these solar panels, and they're stealing the copper. So that's why they have a lot of the razor wire and a lot of security around these fences. So yeah, so it was on top that chain link fence. So I had climbed the fence, and it was at the very top where the razor wire is. And she's just looking at it and staring at it, and it wouldn't move. So after a couple of minutes, she said, I rolled down my window a little bit, and I kind of whistled very lightly to get it. So, like the dogs get, when you whistle, they'll turn their head or they'll move. But she said when she whistled, it faintly, she said she saw its head move very, very little towards her. Not very much, but she noticed enough to notice where it moved its head very little towards her. But she said that it didn't care about her. It didn't move after that. It was just fixated on whatever was looking into the property. She doesn't know what it was fixated on. But she got the feeling that it knew that she was there. This thing didn't care about her or whatever. And after, she did that, she rolled back up her window, she said. She just sat there looking at it and never moved. Then she started getting freaked out because she thought it was like a demonic spirit or something that she was seeing. And she ended up leaving that area. So she took off she said for about 5 minutes she took off, and then she came back again around just to see if it was still there. And she said it was gone by the time she went back. But yeah, so this is how the encounter went down, and she wanted our opinion, and I told her it's either a skinwalker or a dogman, in my opinion.
Well, okay. I can't tell how big it is by just looking at the picture.
Okay.
About how big would you estimate this thing was?
So I asked her about that. She said the chain link fence before the razor wire section starts, it's about 6 to 7 feet tall from the floor to where the razor wire section starts. It's about 6 to 7 feet tall. And then it's another 3 feet of razor wire from the top, from that 7 feet to another 3 feet. So that's a total of 10 feet around there. Okay. So it's at the very top. So I'm estimating this thing's about half of that length. Maybe I'm thinking about 6 feet. 6 feet tall.
Even 5. Okay, so what I've been hearing more and more lately with the dogman reports that we're getting, they're not like all 7 to 8 feet tall. Some of them are actually just large dog size walking on 2 hind legs. Okay, with like human-like hands. Okay, they're not all gigantic like a lot of us would imagine.
Yeah.
From some of the typical stories, and a lot of them look like just dogs, but they're walking with on 2 legs,
right?
Which is odd. Like they look like coyotes or, a wolf.
And I asked her about it. Are you sure it wasn't a coyote? And she goes, no. We've seen dogs out there in the day, and it's nothing like that. I would have known if it's a coyote. No, it didn't act like that. It didn't even act like that. It didn't even look like that. It's something different. I've never seen that before. And she says they've had coyotes on the property. They've had dogs. And it was nothing like that.
Wow. Okay. Jesus, what do you think about that picture? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I would like to also introduce this other point of view is if it would have been a dog, for example, that just managed to climb up the chain link fence, that dog would not be comfortable up there. It would not be still. And sure enough, I mean, there would be some kind of distress. Like, oh my God, I'm caught, but I'm like shaking. I need to keep moving and not stay still. So for me, that's like one of the things that I was looking for. But the person reporting it didn't mention that, and I'm sure they would have noticed that as well. So to me, the way they described it as it being still, it wasn't a dog. Like this thing was definitely aware of what it was doing. It realized that it was being observed, so it tried to stay as still as possible to avoid detection. But as far as what I think it is, I think this is a possible dogman or a skinwalker.
Okay, so a lot of times when we get reports of dogmen, they're seen near and around either graveyards or Indian burial mounds. Okay, a lot of times there's something in the vicinity. Is there something like that in this vicinity?
I asked her about that, and she told me that the property was built on the sacred Native American area, sacred site, and they had to have a ceremony before they started building on that property.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of ties in the idea of that potentially being a dogman and also being skinwalker.
Yeah. And also,
right?
there's a Native American reservation not too far from there. There's a community out there. There's a reservation. It's not too far, maybe about let me say about 20 miles away from that area. So it's not. It's all in that area.
Okay. Somebody in the audience, I don't know where the comment went, but they were saying, well, by just not knowing the backstory, it looked kind of like a bear. Okay. Yeah. Well, and the way I'll pull the picture back up, because with the hunch back here, a lot of times when people describe a dogman and a bear, by the way, they have like a hump, almost like a hump on their back, like a big tuft of hair, I guess is what you call it. Mm-hmm. And this actually kind of has that on it. But some of the people who I'm closest to, who I trust with my life, who have seen dogmen, say that they had that same exact thing. And that's one of the most distinguishing characteristics of the dogman that they encountered, was that thing on its back, like a big tuft of hair back there.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting.
And I asked her about that. Is it a bear? Yeah. She goes, no, Javier, it's not a bear. She goes, I go hunting. I know what bears look like. And it's not a bear. I go, I need to ask all these questions. You know, I just need to ask them. I just want to get your opinion. You know? But yeah, she said no.
Oh yeah. I agree with you, Susan. Yeah, a dogman would be scarier than a Bigfoot. I don't know. Bigfoots can be scary too, though. Just depends on what kind of mood they're in, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. But you know, so I want to kind of throw this out there. I talked to a woman, a lady who contacted me, who she's the one who actually put this footage out of the dogman that was digging in a cemetery. I don't know the years. It's been a few years, but this is a dogman up in Ohio. Well, we call it a dogman. You know, the girls who took it actually thought it was a person digging in the ground. But I talked to her the other day, and she said that she kind of put a human aspect to it in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because when you see things like that, I automatically think it's digging for a dead corpse because it's hungry or something. You know, that my mind has never strayed from that. I thought it was there to dig up a body. But she had a really interesting angle on it. She said that she thinks that it could have been trying to bury its dead child, and was kind of copying what the humans do. It was a place of burial, you know, where we ceremoniously bury our dead. And so she thought, well, maybe that's what it was doing out there. And it put almost a humanistic characteristic to it, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and that's the first time I hear about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. I never even thought of that. So but I think that they can't. I think that they have more human characteristics potentially. Some of them do, just like Bigfoots have more human characteristics, but not all of them. You know, and they're all different.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, with this encounter, you know, it was back in October, and I was trying to get permission since then to show it. And they didn't want to show it. You know, they didn't want to show it. They were afraid. They were afraid of releasing it to the public. And I just kept on them. And I go, well, look, let me block out the background of the picture. Let me work with it a little bit and see if it's okay. You know, after I do some cropping of it. I mean, if it's okay, if you like it, then we'll share it. So, she ended up saying, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and share it. Just don't say where the property's at. You know, I don't want people coming up in this area, and then I don't want my name out there either. I don't want my name associated with that. I'm okay, well, that's fine. No. So,
and I would like to. And I would like to also mention, like, for example, this is a person reaching out to us with their story, with their evidence and their experience. So, like we mentioned, if you're willing to share that story with us, I mean, we'll be glad to share that story with everybody who wants to listen to the story. But at the same time, if you're not comfortable with the public knowing your name or the location, that is fine. We'll keep that anonymous because at the same time, we're trying to protect you and we're trying to protect these creatures because ultimately, for me personally, I just want to have something to show to the public, to the audience, and say, here, this is what we found. I mean, it's up for debate. If it's a dogman, is it a Bigfoot? Is it a skinwalker? I mean, I don't consider myself a professional, but you know what? I'm definitely interested in this topic. And can we go back there one more time and see if we find this creature one more time and bring more evidence? I mean, so I hope that you guys also understand that sometimes these reports come in and they're very uh, like vague in the sense where it's a little bit of information that they're giving us, but they don't want to give us the whole information because they're afraid that maybe their job might be in jeopardy. Because there are times where cryptids have been spotted in restricted federal land, and it makes sense where people see some strange things and want somebody to know that this is going on there, but at the same time they don't want to be associated with them taking pictures of restricted areas and then getting reprimanded for taking those types of pictures. So you know just bear with us.
Yeah, especially around military bases. That's a good point, Jojo. Thank you for that. Yeah, we get a lot of reports of Bigfoot, especially come out around military bases. Dogman too, actually, especially even down here in South Georgia. I'm in North Georgia, but down in South Georgia, there's a place that my team researches at the Troop Herd Corridor, kind of near Fort Benning. It's not too far from Fort Benning, an Army base down there. So I don't know. I mean, people first of all don't want to lose their jobs. Okay, they don't want to be that crazy person. But with people like you guys going out and making this public and just and me having this show, we're putting it out there for people, and it's not as crazy as it would have been about 10 years ago for people, which is comforting, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and also, Jessica, after receiving this report, that was in October. Some of the coworkers got wind that she had taken a picture and she had caught something on this photo. So the coworkers started asking, they wanted to see it. And actually, she told me later on that one of the coworkers told her that he goes, "I'm going to tell you what I saw one night when I left. My shift was over and I left at around midnight, and I was heading off the property on the road. I got onto the main road, and I noticed something up ahead on the side of the road." And he said, "I thought it was a person sitting down on the road, on the side of the road." And I go, "What? There's nothing out here. Where this picture was taken, this property, it's a bare land all the way around. There's nothing out there. There's no trees. There's no orchard. It's just bare land. It's open land." And he goes, "Man, there's nothing out here. What the heck is this person doing out here sitting down on the road?" So he ended up slowing down, and he was telling her that as he slowed down, he was noticing that it wasn't a person, but it started looking like a dog. It had a dog German Shepherd head on it, and it was sitting on its butt. Like it was sitting on its butt facing him as he was coming towards him. And it was big. He said this thing was big, and it had patches on the chest where it didn't have hair, but he noticed that it had hair, but it was patches where it didn't have hair. And it had like a dog head on it. And this thing, as it was sitting down, it was at least, he said, above my hood of my vehicle. So it was about just sitting down. It was about 4 or 5 feet tall, just sitting down. And he told her it was a werewolf. He said that to her. It was a werewolf. And I just took off. I punched it and I took off. And I couldn't believe what I had seen. I was all, did I see a werewolf? No, he was telling himself that I see a werewolf. And that's what he just said those words to her. It's a werewolf.
Wow. Well, someone in the audience tonight was asking, what is the difference between a werewolf and a dogman? Are they the same? What do y'all think?
Jesus, what do you think?
I think they're two different types of breeds, for lack of better words. Personally, I would say they're the same, like the same type of creature, maybe a different species.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my take on it.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm showing the audience right now, for people who are watching tonight, different artist renditions and reports of what some of the dogmen look like. Now, some of them look more just like a dog with the dog type legs. Others, yeah, a lot of them just look like dogs. Some actually say they look more like they have a pit bull type face. Mm-hmm. A lot of the reports say coyote type face, a wolf, or a German shepherd, like you said, Javier. Which I think is really cool. Now, I think this is from the North American Dogman Project. Right. They have a chart, okay, because there's so many different types of dogmen. A lot of them, I think the number one type would look like the Van Helsing type of a werewolf / dogman down the canine variant 3.
That's on the chart. That's the one I would say I saw.
Oh yeah, that's what most people describe. Now, recently I've been hearing a lot more about the hyena type dogman, which is interesting because hyenas are not even dogs. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is really odd.
And I've heard of some that look like the jackals. I've heard some that look like the Anubis from the Egyptian god. Yeah.
Oh, we can't leave out Anubis. Okay. Yeah. Well, dog-headed men go all the way back to pretty much the beginning of written history. Okay. Mm-hmm. We of course we have well, this is not Anubis, but I think that's Saint Christopher, maybe.
Saint Christopher, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the dog-headed men. And when you go back to Old World, I've been talking a lot about the Old World maps and Old World creatures, and you hear a lot about the dog. I mean, there were whole civilizations, whole communities of dog-headed men, and it was quite commonplace apparently, because it's in all the art and a bunch of the literature. From back in the day, and it's kind of making a renaissance. Okay, like it's making it's here. Like we still have them today, and some people argue like, well, they've always been here. Okay, we've always had dog-headed men, I guess you could say here. Some people say they're created in labs underground, like military experiments and stuff. I mean, is that something that you guys have kind of thought about or looked into?
For me personally, I'm more of the skinwalker type. I'm in more that realm, that it's like some kind of spiritual transformation, some kind of magic. Again, for lack of better words, that or some kind of special technique that is still being passed down from ancient tribes. So, and it's being continued to be practiced to this time. That's my belief. I mean, that to me makes more sense. But I mean, I've also heard of the theory that they're like genetically modified creatures that are being developed by the military. So out of those two, I tend to believe that it's some lost knowledge that a lot of us, well, I shouldn't say all of us, but some other tribes, came across, and they've been practicing it since then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Dennis has an interesting comment. Hey, Dennis. I think dogmen can run on all fours when they choose to, and there may be several variants that have been bred. Now, I looked into the Dogman breeding program, Okay, so there's rumors, and there's some people. There's whistleblowers. There's a whistleblower. I've actually had one on my channel before and did an interview with him. I did a remote viewing target of the Dogman and Cryptid breeding program here in the United States. I do believe that there may be one. Okay, where, let's just say, our military, our government, there's some kind of agency that's breeding cryptids for use for like military action and stuff, like going overseas. And some people say that during the Vietnam War, they sent werewolves down into the tunnel systems to go after the Viet Cong. Okay, the Viet Cong. So I don't know. I don't put it past our government to do that. Do y'all?
Yeah. And also, I also have a theory that, getting into aliens, how they abduct humans. How do we know that they don't abduct Sasquatch, make hybrids of Sasquatch, and also, coyotes or wolves, and they make hybrids of them and bring them down here and let them roam,
Yeah. Well, you guys go and do your like boots on the ground research. You're out in these national forests and national parks, and some people say, I say personally, I think there's something fishy going on at some of these national parks. Yeah, especially with the missing people, the clusters of missing people from David Politis that writes the Missing 411 series.
Yeah,
there's something going on.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. We feel that. Yeah, there is something going on, and in our area, there's a lot of granite. I think something has to do with the granite and portals opening up. High energy frequencies. Yeah, because it's usually in our areas along granite, and there's water, and I mean it's in crystals. It's all for ingredients for a portal. From what I heard.
And y'all are speaking my language. You're totally speaking my language, because wherever we go and do, we have Bigfoot sightings. We go to an investigation. Even at these state parks and national parks here in the South, there's usually a vein of quartz, and I'm always bringing quartz home in my pockets. Okay, I brought 2 pockets full of quartz home this weekend. Okay, I'm just waiting for like a hologram of a dogman to show up in my house one night, from the quartz. But yeah, we've also documented portals and stuff in some of these locations. So, I mean. Yeah. I can appreciate that you guys are open-minded into the idea of cryptids using portals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever found any evidence of portals, or have you ever seen anything that might be a portal?
Well, nothing definitively. One day when we were up investigating Pictograph Mountain, this is a small mountain near where we live, and again, the owner reached out and said, "Hey, you guys might want to check out this mountain of mine. There's some very interesting pictographs. You guys might find something." So we went up there. We were doing our routine investigation. We didn't know what to expect. But when we came to near the top of this mountain, we found what it appeared to be a chair made out of granite. It was like perfectly cut. It had a 90-degree angle. And when I was snapping pictures, you could see a bright light emanating from that chair. And it's odd because there was nothing reflective on that rock that looked like a chair. So after we were looking at the photos, we were just thinking of the possibilities of what it could have been. Like I mentioned, there was nothing reflective. I mean, there was no speck of anything shiny that would say, what, it must have just been like the pyrite that was embedded on the granite rock. So we labeled it possible portal on that chair. So, I mean, again, this is just Javier and I going back and forth, discussing our findings. of our investigation that day. But definitely in that area, you feel an energy. And I know Javier mentioned granite. When granite's around, it almost feels like that energy is just amplified. And this mountain specifically, it's about 20 miles away from where we usually investigate. And what's odd is that there's a lot of granite there too, but there's water, there's a dam. So that just amps up everything by 100%. So again, going back to the theory, can it be a portal opening up? It could definitely be, because not only are we witnessing dogmen, we're also seeing pterodactyls, like you mentioned at the beginning, and the family of Bigfoots. Where are all these cryptids hiding? I mean, we understand it's a big forest, but there has to be a little bit more to it.
I agree with you 100%. Like, where are they going at night and during the day?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? You know, I mean, that's a whole can of worms to open right there, because it's like you could do a whole show on that. Because a lot of people find places where they think they've been bedded. There's all these stick huts, debris. Well, I call them debris huts. A lot of times, I think 99% of the pictures that people send me, see, my team goes out and we do like survivalist weekends and weeks and stuff out in the woods and learn how to build debris huts. So I know that humans build that stuff a lot of times, but then we find structures of like trees that have been arched and tied together with other trees and stuff. And never underestimate the power of a bored or drunk camper, okay, to do stuff like that. But there's times where it's almost impossible for humans to do some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're out there, you can see if it was a human or not. You can find evidence of human being around that area. And then there's times where you see these structures, like, and you're looking at them, it's like, I don't think it was a human that did this. It doesn't fit, you know. It doesn't fit like a human would do this. Certain ones, you know.
Yeah, and a telltale sign is like how high up it is too. A lot of times, because humans, you know, if it's like human level, like 6 feet, 5 feet, probably humans. You know what I mean? But it might not be. But when you're like 8, 9 feet up in the air and things are, you know, there's asterisks, whatever you call it, like where they put the trees and so it's just, it's kind of, it's too heavy for humans too. So you just go with your gut. And so, Jesus, I remember Javier telling me before that, I believe it was you, that you can sense things very well and you go with your gut. And when something is off, you let it be known, like you need to get out. It's time to go, you know, and I think that's so important.
Yes. For some reason, I think it's just that sixth sense where something just doesn't feel right. And I make sure that I mean, again, we're not professional. We're amateur. We're out there doing this because we like what we're doing. We seriously do. So when something doesn't feel right, I rather let him know, hey, dude, this is what I'm feeling. I don't feel safe. I'll probably back off a little bit. And you know what? That one time that I genuinely didn't feel safe, but Javier was feeling it. We got some really good photos of whatever entity was around us that day, and it was interesting to say the least, because I felt it. Like I knew something was up, but he didn't. Like it was almost like, hey, dude, stand back. I don't want you to see me, but Javier, you know what? Come on in. We'll let you, you know, explore, do your thing. So I'm okay with that. And vice versa. If he's not feeling it, you know, to us, safety is our number one priority. So if we're out in the field and he's telling me, hey, you know what? I feel like something's around us or something's keeping an eye on us, it's probably best to just leave.
I love that 100%. That's like our team's number one thing. It's like, first of all, we don't go out in the woods alone, okay, because it's so dangerous. if y'all knew what we've seen, I guess y'all do know what we've seen, okay? Because you guys are out there as much as we are. There's a lot of weird stuff, and it's not only cryptids, but it's people we have to worry about too. Bunch of there could be crazy people out there hiding,
exactly,
waiting to grab you.
Yeah.
But you just never know. But it just get out of there. If you don't feel safe, there's no point in sticking around unless you're just on a kamikaze mission. So
yeah.
Somebody in the chat, his Bobo, okay, Bobo 44 says, I believe the metallic sound that people hear is a portal opening, and that's something that I hear about, but I've never heard it personally. It sounds like a dumpster being dropped in the middle of the woods.
I've heard that sound once, and I was with he's in the chat room with Adolf. We went out to this area, it's called Blue Creek out here, up in by Shaver Lake area. And we heard that. I heard that one time when I was out there with him. It sounds like a dumpster falling. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, or they're closing the hat. Like bang, they're closing the lid on it. But I turned around. It was loud, and my camera didn't even pick it up. My video camera, it should have picked it up, and my camera didn't even pick up the noise. For as loud as that was, it should have picked it up, and it didn't. So that tells me it was on a different frequency. It was the camera didn't pick it up.
Yes, that's a great point. The frequencies, what is it? Tesla, I guess it said that everything's about energy, frequency, vibration.
Exactly.
Yes, that's confirmation right there. Okay. Yeah. But it's all about energy, frequency, vibration, and I could be standing there looking at something that's going on out in the woods, like orbs. And the person beside me won't see these orbs because they're not on the same frequency. Like somehow it's like we're not all tuned into that same radio station, like we haven't turned the dial. Not everybody is exactly where we are. We're all on a different level in some way.
Yeah. Correct.
That's what I'm
saying. With that topic in mind right now, there's been instances where I'm driving home from work and I'll see a strange light on the sky, and I'm like, you know what? That's rather odd. It's a different color. It's not blinking. It's solid. It's stationary. I'm gonna pull over and I'm gonna take a picture of it or film it. And guess what? I'm trying to look for it on my phone, but it's not there. But I can plainly see it. So again, going back to the frequency, these things that are different are at a different frequency that our devices aren't even able to pick it up, but we are able to see them with our naked eyes. So I have a couple of short videos where like I know there's something there, but my camera just won't pick it up because whatever light frequency that is being emitted from this device or unknown object is just not registering with my phone. So I mean, there's times where like, hey dude, I'm coming home from work, and I call Javier, hey dude, look towards this area over here. There's something in the sky, or look over here. I mean, we'll do that often where like if I see something, I'll call him, or if he sees something, he'll call me, just so we get another set of eyes on this object.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's smart. You guys have some fantastic evidence. And I mean, we have one more picture and we only have a few more minutes tonight. We've almost come to the end of the show tonight. We have about 5 minutes left. You have another Dogman picture from 2019. I know people in the audience are wanting to see more of your pictures, your evidence and stuff. And we'll tell the audience where to go, y'all. They got a YouTube channel, CRYPTID559. But let's show this picture if that's okay.
Yeah.
And you can kind of give the audience a little overview as to what this is. Oops, let me bring it back. There it is. Okay.
Yeah, so this one was taken out here just outside of town. At this, I had noticed some structures in this little, I call them islands of eucalyptus trees, and it's alongside a road. And I had passed by there one day, and I saw like X's in there, and just strange structures with these eucalyptus trees. And I told Jesus and my cousin Jose, hey, we need to go check out this area. So it was actually me and Jose, my cousin. We went out there. I think Jesus was working or he was in school, but it was me and Jose this particular time. And we went out there, and we just parked, alongside the road next to this eucalyptus island. And as soon as we got off my van, I smelled rotten meat, like something dead was out here. It was really strong. I told my cousin, "Do you smell that?" And he goes, "Yeah, dude. What is it?" They go, "I don't know, but it's right around here. It's something here. There's something dead. It's bad." And then I started getting a bad feeling, and then I ended up seeing a shadow, what I thought was a shadow in the trees move. And I told him, "Dude, something's here. Start taking pictures, especially in the dark areas. Start taking just random pictures." And he's so sure enough, he started doing that, and I started doing the video. And if you guys go to our YouTube channel, you'll find that video in there. So yeah, this was one of the photos that he captured. Well, it looks like a dog-headed creature there staring right at us, and it was about 10 feet away from us.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool. About how tall was it? Was it a tall one, or what size was it?
I knew something was in that darkness. I just could not see it with my eyes. I couldn't see it. I couldn't tell you how big it was, but I knew something was there. You can smell it. You sensed it. And sure enough, the picture, the camera picked it up.
So do you recommend to people who are out there, because I have a lot of field researchers that watch my shows and that are here with us tonight. Do you recommend that people take a camera, like a digital camera, out in the field with them when they're doing research, or just anytime they get a weird feeling, even in their backyard? Yeah. Should they just take pictures?
Just take random pictures. That's what we do. And sure enough, we've caught more photos with them in it. The camera picks them up, especially when when you smell something, you're sensing something, or you're hearing movement. That's when we start just taking random pictures. And we focus on the dark areas. If you're out in the day, we focus in the dark areas because that's where they hide. They hide in the shadows. Well, in our area, they do. They hide in those dark areas.
They're always hiding in the shadows. They got to stay away from us crazy humans, right? They don't want to be spotted. I don't blame them at all.
Yeah. And just to add more to the story, so Javier ended up going the first time with his cousin. The second time, I was able to make it out there with him. And if you're thinking right now, well, what if it's just the odd shape of the branches that generated a picture of a dogman? Well, listen to this. The second time around, we go same area. Javier is snapping pictures. I'm, looking for those shadows, and we're along the eucalyptus island, and there's a road right next to it. So we're just walking around. A truck passes by, and they slow down, they reverse, and they approach us. And the man asks us, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I said, "Oh, we're just out here doing a little research." And he mentions, "Are you guys looking for the black dog?" I'm like, whoa. We never mentioned what we were looking for. We're just doing research. And he's the one that actually brought up that, if we were looking for a dog. So that just validates to us that, what we captured in that photo was not like an illusion or a trickery of our cameras. I mean, there's definitely something there, because not only have we felt it, but other people have seen it. And that to me that day, I mean, it was like hitting a home run. Like, okay, cool. There's something definitely here. We have what appears to be photo evidence of what we thought it was. And this person just kind of like validated what we're looking for, a black dog. And what do we see in our photo? A black dog. And the interesting thing about it is that this man mentioned that it climbs, or it jumps between trees. So I'm like, okay, so that's something that we got to look for when we're out there researching, is pay attention to the trees up on top, because we're always looking for those footprints, what evidence is on the floor, but we never look up.
Oh no, always look up. That is a rule, man. You got to go by that rule. Always look up, because the dog, not only could there be dogman in the trees, or Bigfoots or anything, but they put their food up there too and stuff. You got to watch for ambush. Okay.
Right.
You got to watch for ambush. But look, hey, look, we're still here. All three of us right now. We're out in the field a good bit. So I think if they wanted to hurt you, they'll hurt you. But I haven't been hurt yet. Okay. So.
Hey, Jessica, I just wanted to go back really quick. I know we're short on time, but really quick on the encounter, the picture. Like I said, her coworker said that he had seen this creature, and that was like 2 weeks after the photo was taken. Okay. So that was 2 weeks after. So, and then after that, my cousin was heading out to the coast and was driving in that direction. And her and her friend, it was at 10 o'clock at night. They were passing through this area, and they had to swerve off the road because this creature was on two legs. And she called me and she was telling me, hey, I just saw the chupacabra. She was calling it a chupacabra, and we almost hit it. And she was all scared. I go, okay, calm down. What did it look like? And then she telling me that it had a dog head on it. Okay, it had a dog head on it. Was it like muscular? No, it was like 5 feet tall. It was, we almost hit it. We had to swerve. It was on two legs crossing the road. But I saw the dog head because it was on my side, and it was skinny. And I go, okay. So then I'm looking, and then I sent her a picture of a skinwalker that's on the internet, and she goes, "That's it. It was like that. It was like that."
Whoa.
And this was all within like weeks of each other in that whole area.
It could have been the same animal, or creature, but you just never know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a very active area. So I hope that you guys will keep us posted, and please come back and see me again. And Foxy Joe, thank you for that super sticker. We appreciate that. Please come back and see me and hang out with me again. This has been a fantastic time. Jesus, it was so nice to meet you tonight. And I would love for you guys tell the audience where they can find y'all on social media.
You can find us on YouTube at CRYPTID559, and then we have a Facebook page, CRYPTID559, but the 559 is in Roman numerals. So just look for our logo, and then send me a friend request, and then we'll let you in. And then we post a lot of pictures up there, and on YouTube we have all our videos. Go check those out.
Yes.
And it was a pleasure meeting you, Jessica.
Yes,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Oh man, it's not the last time we're going to hang out, fellas. Okay, we'll have you back here soon. Okay, and thank you for all your boots on the ground research too. You have a special place in my heart, y'all. Okay, because that's I think that's like the bread and butter of the research. Is getting out there and getting the evidence. And so thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. I hope you'll come back soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great night, and we'll see y'all next time. Okay. All right. See y'all. Okay. Oh my gosh, y'all. That was so fantastic. Don't forget that right after this show, After Hours has their program about to go live here any second now. Y'all, please come see me this week on my channel, The Cryptid Huntress. Go over there and subscribe and like the video. Share this video out. And I will be back at Spaced Out Radio next weekend. Until then, y'all come see me over at the Cryptid Huntress on YouTube. I have 2 shows this week, and I can promise you they're going to be exciting. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful night. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you for that super sticker tonight. And I will see y'all on the flip side. Y'all be sure to lock your doors and stay safe out there. Keep your head on a swivel. All right, bye y'all.